From the what's next videos to the teasers we've gotten from the company itself, eventually, we are in for an action-packed influx of content. Now, we've gotten a lot of content recently. Iron Twins, we had the Sand Devil, mixed reviews on them. The Blessing system, of course, is rather new as well. We have a new faction, Sylvan Watchers. Sylvan Watchers, new faction, no one really cares about that because unless you're wailing on shards, how are you going to see them? So what we're going to go over here today is everything that they've said that's going to come out, just in case you forgot about it, with some pretty cool, I guess, sneak peeks. So let's dive straight into it. What up guys, it is MurderInc here, talking about everything we can look forward to in the near future. When? Soon. Their answer, my answer, the answer you should all expect, soon. So the first thing that a lot of people have, I won't say a lot of people have forgot about it. People are asking about it. The token trader. They are going to add, as we can see here, we cannot shift to the left. They are going to add more champions. They're not going to get rid of these, but they're going to add more champions here. Now they're waiting for something. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for an additional way to get tokens? Are they waiting for more players to have access to duplicate champions? I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. They are waiting for something though, because it is a fact they are going to add more champions. How many? Is it going to be 2, 4, 6? Who knows? But they said they would leave these champions. As we can see, I bought a Tomb Lord. I have nothing here. I mean, I can unbind a ton of champions right now. I could get thousands of these points. So I'm ready. Most players, they're not ready, right? Then you have to think about, what if you unbind a champion now, then another champion comes down the line and it requires that to empower it. What did we just see with Rhonda, right? Rhonda came out, and only get one of her, so you have to use Killian to empower her. Now what happens if you turned 4 Killians into these tokens? You're not doing too hot. So it is a gamble no matter how you look at it. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing, this is a really small thing, so I'm going to go over it quickly. Sylvan Watchers, Faction Wars, that is going to be coming out as well, but who cares about that? One of the main things I want to talk about is this new dungeon here. What could this new dungeon be? There's going to be multiple new dungeons. This is just going to be one of them. Now, they already told us we are going to get a way to ascend accessories, but is that it? I don't think so. Now just watch as I blow the lid off of this thing. This is going to be interesting for sure. Let's think together. What is the one thing that's in this game that's something that's considered farmable that we cannot currently farm? We're not talking about shards. There's not a steady influx of shards, but clan boss, we have our daily, weekly quests that give shards, advanced quests that give shards. There are ways to get shards, but it's through earning them, not farming them. We can currently farm gear, we can farm accessories, we can farm metals, we can farm glyphs, we can now farm oil, and we can farm the blessing materials from the new dungeon, but what are we missing? What's been out for quite some time now that we haven't been able to farm? The answer, and we're not talking about champions again. I know I want to say it would be nice to be able to farm fragments, but since they just capped it and said they're not adding more champions after, that's not going to be a possibility in my mind at least. So we have to click on the clan boss here. And let's go to the Hydra. And let's click on drop info. What are these red borders? That's mythic gear, isn't it? What dungeons drop mythic gear? Anybody? Anybody at all? Oh, that's right, there's none. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. You guys can let me know how you feel about a mythic dungeon. Do I think it's going to happen? 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that either the next dungeon or the dungeon after the next dungeon is going to be a place to farm mythic gear. It only makes sense. They're not going to go to 7-star gear. They told me at least. That can change. Don't quote me on that. But we cannot farm mythic gear anywhere. Now, how is this going to work? I'm quite curious as to how it's going to work. Because you have to consider with mythic gear, we have every single gear set from Fire Knight, Dragon's Lair, Ice Golem, and that's pretty much it. Then we have like the special sets. So are we going to get an item that's going to turn a piece into a mythic gear and it's going to require a certain quality? That's a really big question. I don't see any other possible way of making farming mythic gear work than something like that. Unless they do something insane and they add every single artifact drop, every single one, to one dungeon. Now, if they were smart, this is what I would do. Plarium, listen up. I mean, you already have your plans. I already know that. Not that I know anything for sure, but I already know that. What I would have done is, stage 1 would have been Fire Knight gear, stage 2 Dragon, stage 3 Ice Golem, stage 4 nothing, because there's no, right? There's only 3 dungeons that drop gear? Correct. Stage 4 Doom Tower Market Mix, if they want to. All the same boss, by the way. They can do that instead of affinities. They can keep the affinities as red, whatever they want to, ending at the same stage 25, but I think it would be interesting to see stage 1 drops only the Fire Knight mythic gear, stage 2 Dragon, so on and so forth, 5-star, 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 and the 6-star gear starts coming in, and it can be the same breakdown. Do I think they start at 1 to 2-star? Probably not. I would assume they're going to start at 4-star, and then go up to 4-5, then 5-6, and then for the last, I don't know, 3 dungeons, it's going to be Fire Knight max quality 5 to 6, Dragon max quality 5 to 6, Ice Golems same. If they decide to add accessories in there, of course, Spider's going to be in the mix, so that's what we've been missing. I thought about this for a while now. What are they doing with mythical gear? There's gotta be a reason. There's no shot this game is going to have a future where the only way to get this is from the Hydra. There's just no shot, right? They are pushing for more players to do Hydra. That's been clear with the blessing system, the fusions. I mean, listen, the fusion that we're getting right now, this new fusion, fantastic for many places, but definitely very strong. I mean, he's good everywhere. I did a video on this recently, but he's going to be very good for the Hydra. Now, they are pushing Hydra strong, and kind of to get away from the mythical dungeon topic I just talked about, the next thing on the list is what's after Mithrala. Many players have maxed out their Mithrala fragments, but many players haven't. They're really pushing for a power creep with this new ascension of gear that's going to make player stats much better than they should have been. Unless they avoid it, then they're going to fall behind all their friends. Unlucky, but some people are being stubborn like that. The same thing with blessings. Blessings changed everything for Hydra. You're now getting millions of damage from 1-star, 2-star souls on champions. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. So all of these things, I mean, you've probably noticed it in your clan. You can let me know if you noticed it in the comments below, but you're progressing as a clan faster through Hydra than ever before. And that's because of all these new systems coming out, because they want players to get Mithrala. Once they hit whatever threshold they're hitting, then we're going to see what's after Mithrala. And I know a lot of people are kind of antsy and waiting just for that. So with that, we also have the Great Void here. What is this going to be? Hopefully something good. We're getting new heads for the Hydra. That we know about. It's kind of old news. We just haven't heard anything about it for a while. But like I said, they're kind of pumping up the power of the entire player base. So more players are competing in the Hydra, which is going to be good overall for the game and for progression on releasing new rewards. They're not going to release something after Mithrala if there are like 1,000 players that have it. That's such a small percentage of the game. It's not enough for them to go forward on this because they have to spend money on new content, and it has to make sense for them. So they're going to release this new dungeon here. There's been no info about this, and hopefully it's good. I mean, I will say this, Demon Lord, Hydra, their boss, the bossing in this game has been pretty good. There's been a lot of thought to it. It's been fun. I mean, I would say it's one of the biggest draws to this game overall. It's definitely not PvP, which we're going to talk about next, by the way. I guess pulling shards is kind of like fishing for players who enjoy pulling shards, the dopamine of that, but I don't know, I wouldn't consider that content. As far as content goes, dungeon farming is okay. I haven't seen too many people like crazy enthusiastic about dungeon farming, but bosses, they're like, okay, these are cool. Maybe the Sand Devil re-sparked some interest. The Iron Twins got kind of dull pretty quick for a lot of players, but Demon Lord has been a fan favorite forever, so much customization. Hydra, same thing. There's not 15, 20, 25, 30 champions that'll work. There's hundreds. Same thing for Demon Lord, and hopefully the same for this next boss. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's going to be interesting. Maybe the mythic gear will come from here as 2 sources of mythical gear instead of just one being the Hydra. That's also another possibility. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dungeon, but we will see whenever it decides to come out. The next thing is, are they going to release another Doom Tower cycle? I'm pretty sure they said they're not done with the cycles. However, the cycles are getting pretty long, so they're kind of in a hard spot if you ask me personally. How are you going to add more bosses when we're already on a monthly schedule? I guess eventually we could get to a 12-month rotation, but I don't think players would like that too much, because if there's certain gear that players want to farm, to have to wait and farm 1 month out of a year, I don't know. Would you guys want that? Personally, I wouldn't want that. I don't really do the Doom Tower. I don't care about these rewards enough to put in the time to play it. I mean, I guess we do have this new auto climb system, so I could do it, but no, I won't. Anyways, so the Doom Tower, we talked about it. They could add more bosses. Are they going to go up to 12? That seems a bit excessive. They're going to cap eventually, because I think 12 would be a mistake of an idea unless they branch out somewhere else. The next we have is going to be the Pinnacle, whatever the hell this is. This has been here for a long time. This is the original clan versus clan pin. I guess we're going to call it a pin. Like you pin something onto it. That was the original plan. I did a video like years ago now that had 3v3 before it was called tag team. Why they changed it to tag team, I'm not sure. And then CVC, or clan versus clan, was supposed to be right here. Now, could this still be clan versus clan? Yes. We know clan versus clan is something totally different. A pay-to-win tournament that people complain about for no reason because it's kind of irrelevant. You just keep playing as you would normally play. If you're, I don't know, the whale guilds, they still have minimum CVC requirements for no reason. I think it's so stupid. I've seen accounts ruined because they're stacking plus 16 gear. That's just terrible just because they want points to hit their minimums. I think if you're in a clan that has a minimum for clan versus clan, you have a leadership problem, because the rewards of winning, personal rewards, it's not worth what you're spending. I'm not sure if anyone's actually taken the time to calculate what resources you spend compared to what you get. It's not an even trade-off, which is why I'm lucky to be in a clan whose message is get good, whose description is all about arena. We have no CVC minimum. I scored 26,000 points in the last clan versus clan, and I think 46,000 in the one before that. We just don't care. Do we have reaction already? Yes. Are you still going to get reaction if you lose every single battle? Yeah, because if you just play the game, you're probably going to get 2-1. If another clan really wants to try hard and 4-0, 3-0 you, let them. Let them spend the money and realize it's not worth it in the end. But that's a side point. So we have arena, whatever that's going to be. What we really need, I think Plarium knows this. Are they going to add it? I don't think so, because there's no way to monetize it, which sucks, but it is what it is. Clan battles. Meaning, if I want to duel, want to mess, there's going to be a button here where I can duel him and I can farm him in 3 seconds. I'm just kidding, bro. I can't farm you in 3 seconds. I can farm you in 2. I'm just kidding. I can't farm you at all. Anyways, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Same thing with Smiley, Mad Rat Pack. Could definitely farm this in like 1 second for sure. But it would be fun to duel our clanmates to figure out what's fun in PvP and what's not. The problem is, if there's no cap, they're not making money because we're not spending resources. And I was talking about this with somebody, and I said, well, what are we going to do if we have a Great Hall and we have 60 to 500,000, I've literally seen 500,000 by the way, gold medals after we've maxed it out? Well, what if this becomes the currency of dueling people? Do I think that's a good idea? No. Do I think that everyone should get 10 daily duels with their clanmates and after that it costs medals? That wouldn't be terrible. Because let's face it, what are they going to do with these medals? They have to figure it out. There's more and more players each and every day that passes that are maxing out their Great Halls. Do I understand there's a large majority of players who aren't even close to maxing? I do. but the number of people who have this maxed has been growing for the past year, 2 years. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, and it's a waste. So hopefully with the year of PvP, they start implementing some systems here. Now, one thing they haven't talked about is the Bastion. What's going to be the next addition to the Bastion? Do they have to add something for the mine? Something to think about. A new mine, something that generates silver on its own. Something that generates... I don't think energy is ever going to be a thing. But silver mine, that could be an option. That could be very cool. A new mine that unlocks silver. Let's say you get a baseline... $1 million a day is kind of a lot. Baseline 500,000k silver a day if you unlock it. Going up to $1 million, then 1.5 million a day. Huge, right? Of course it would cost gems, probably a lot of gems. I don't really remember how much it costed to fully max this gem mine, but I did it so long ago, it's probably paid itself off 100 times, 1,000 times over, whatever. Silver mine would be really cool. Anything new like that to this Bastion would be nice here. And as far as what we can talk about for the future today, we have talked about. So that's it. In a nutshell, what are we most excited for? Let me know for sure. I'm kind of leaning towards what they do with PvP because a lot of players don't like PvP. I mean, look at the tag arena. Like, who the heck is doing tag arena? No one really cares about this. No one likes it. I'm in gold 1. I did 3 battles here. For what? I don't know. I think I was just that bored where I just clicked on those 3 battles. Maybe I was testing something, but it's kind of dead content. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do for PvP when it's the weakest part of this game. I think it's going to make or break a lot of what's to come for Raid. They do have a lot of content, and that's why I think they're like content overload. I know this is a lot to take in, but why there's a new dungeon here, why there's a new boss here, and why there's a new PvP thing here. They can fail one of these. If they fail 2 of these, it's going to be a pretty big hit on the game overall. They're going to lose players for sure. But they can mess up really bad on one of them, and it's going to be like the end of the world for some players, mostly the Reddit people, and I'm not going to get into who else it could be, but you'll see it on YouTube for sure. If they mess up one of these, it's going to be the end of the world. Plarium's the devil for a week, until they've monetized enough YouTube videos to where they stop caring about it. And then it's going to die down, and we're going to focus on the other good parts of the content. And Plarium probably rework things. I mean, they haven't reworked Tag Arena, and it's been terrible, so I don't know. That's my 2 cents. They added this Plarium play point thing. I have none. I'm not going to have any. It is what it is. I think it's okay if you're spending and you just get something else. Is it an incentive to spend more? They know, we don't know that, but hey, that's going to conclude this video. Give me your thoughts. There was a lot, we talked about a lot here today, so there's a lot to unpack for sure. So I'm curious as to your feedback, because this is about that time where we're looking for feedback in videos, the start of the year, to see what's to come for sure. So as always, guys, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.